Hey everybody, what's going on? This is my review of the Oval. I'm going to try to make it quicker than usual because I want to condense my reviews. So let us do this. That's my face. There we go. So we start off at the pharmacy, and Kareem is just being fresh with Sharon, and she's not really having it because she has a boyfriend. Of course, Kareem has a girlfriend, and he's like, "Well, I brought you lunch," and I'm like, "So that entitles you to be fresh with her? Come on now, man." And Sharon says something about because he's all like, "Oh, I'm just concerned. I care about you." Oh, blah blah blah, all that. And Sharon says something about him wanting to sleep with her, and he doesn't really deny it. He's like, "Yeah," and we know he wants to go full H Town song on her. He's like, mm, mm, mm. And so he gets to talking about Barry and all that, and Sharon doesn't say anything about Barry other than, "Oh, well, we have our problems." And it turns out that Barry is sitting there and he's all angry and, "You talking about me?" Just being all kinds of extra. "You talking about me to this clown ass Negro?" And then he's just gonna try to drag Sharon out the place, gets her by the arm, giving all kinds of domestic violence vibes. And Kareem, of course, is gonna intervene. And then they get into a big fight, and this lady wants to call the police, and I think Kareem said, "Yeah, go ahead and call him." So he's beating Kareem on the face. Kareem got in some hits of his own, so he didn't just like go out like, "Oh, I'm just gonna fall down and get punched in the face." He got his hits in. And so Barry, he just insists that Sharon come with him. "You better come with me. If you don't come with me, I didn't want you working here anyway. If you don't come with me, you don't come home." And Sharon's like, "No, I'm not coming with you. Don't give me an ultimatum." And she stands firm to her ground, and I thought that was good that she stuck firm to her ground. And so later on, after Barry is gone, uh, Kareem is looking all around his store, all trashed and all that, and he wants to tell the police, but Sharon, of course, wants to tell Barry. The police arrive, and they're looking for Barry. Um, I think because that lady did call the police, but they might also be looking for him regarding Ruth's case. And Sharon wants to protect Barry, and I'm like, let him go. He ain't right. He ain't right. Because, like I said, he was giving domestic violence vibes. So let's stick with this part of the storyline. So Barry goes to see Picky, and so Picky gives him some information about Kareem. So Picky says that Kareem is running drugs out of the pharmacy. Well, he went to college, but he's selling drugs, and Sharon is doing the cutting. So I'm not sure if Picky is telling the truth or not, but Barry believes it. He's like, "Well, if that's true, I'm gonna pack her stuff up now." And I think he also mentioned Barry also mentioned something about not finding the Colt. So that was pretty much it for their scene. So let's just talk about Barry's parents and all that since we're on there. So Priscilla came over to see Richard, and she pretty much wants him to fight for his job, and she says that Sam's gonna get all that straightened out with um what's the name? Gail lying on Barry, that all that's gonna be straightened out. He was gonna talk to Donald, blah blah blah, all that. And but Richard's not really feeling it. I don't think he wants to be in that environment with those crazy people. And Priscilla, she was so elated to tell him that Gail got tasered, and this is what she said. She said her mother tasered her, and she said that's what her lying ass gets. And then she said, okay. And then she said she felt bad for her. So Priscilla kind of has a dual sort of feeling about those kids. So she doesn't like how they behave, but I guess she can see that they're pretty messed up from who's based on who their parents are. So Priscilla goes in the house to say hello to Nancy, and Nancy knows something else up, and she said, "What is Richard not telling me?" And Priscilla does not, of course, is not gonna tell Richard's business. So she says, "Well, it's for him to tell you." So he comes in there and tells her, "Oh, I got fired," and she's like, "What?" Oh, and the reasoning behind it, he tells her, "Well, the first daughter lied on our son and said that he raped her," and Nancy's like flipping out. Whoa, wait, and so basically, we know it was they let Barry go and all that. So pretty much that's kind of settled, and that's what is communicated to Nancy. And but she was not pleased, and obviously she'd be upset about that. And so later on, Richard and Nancy have a conversation, and she's asking Richard, "How far do you think Barry would go for his daughter?" And Richard says, oh yeah, he'd kill for like a parent would do for their child." And then Nancy is like taking that real seriously, and he says, "Well, wait, I don't think that he killed Ruth." And she brings up the fact that first Richard says, "Well, he got rid of the gun, he got the gun from him," and then Nancy says, "But what about the knife? The big butcher knife from the kitchen is missing." So we'll see where that goes and whether or not Barry ends up arrested for that or linked to that crime. So let's get the first family and their mess out the way. So creepy Jason is telling Gail about getting out of the White House again, and thankfully didn't get nude this time in this episode. So she's not believing him once again. "Oh, get out of my room, get out of my room, get out of my room." And he does help her get out eventually. And she goes over there to see Picky, and it's all just hot to trot. And in this hotel room, sleazy motel room, not even a hotel, it's a sleazy motel room because you see the lights, the red lights, and all that. Just a dirty, sleazy motel. And she had climbed into the maid's car, Jean's car, to get out of there, and that was with Jason's help. And he told her, because we see Jason telling Jean, "Oh, well, you drive a gray car. I saw it, I saw it." And she's like, "How do you know that?" And he's like, "Binoculars." Um, and then he's asking her for a tour, and so she shuts that down. No, she's she says another part of the staff will handle that. So she shuts that down promptly, but Jason's just a creep, just stalkerish, all of that. So Jean really needs to get a transfer there. So, oh, and sticking with the crazy first kids, let's talk about um, Gail was, just laid out, faking pain from being tased. Jason, ooh, ow, oh, and Jason was backing her up on this, and she tells Hunter, "Oh, Mom tasered me," and Hunter's like, "What?" So he goes at Victoria. You like, how do you taser our daughter like that? That's unacceptable. And so Victoria come back from shopping, and so this was before he came at her for tasering. I think this is. I'm sorry, I'm trying to wrap this up. Got the timeline a bit off, but Victoria told him, "Well, I went to that whole store and I took care of her like the cockroach that she is." So he was already angry about that. So when he found out about Gail, he really came at Victoria, and they get to fighting back and forth, and she's yelling, "Help, help, help." And then the Secret Service is trying to get in here, like, "Sir, open the door, open the door." He's like, "Everything's fine, everything's fine." So by the time they get the door open, Victoria has already, she goes, gets a running start and charges into the wall, knocks herself out cold. One of the craziest things I've seen on a show. And so she so the so anyway, so she's taken to the kitchen and she comes to, and Secret Service agent is there and she's telling him, "Oh, do you see how he treats me? He treats me so bad." And then she's like, "Oh, you've seen it. You've been with us since the governor's mansion. Oh, he treats me so bad. Make love to me." And she's trying to get him to, you know, get with her. And he's like, "No, ma'am, I'm happily married." And so she starts just going down, down, down. And we get the idea of what she was gonna do. So I don't know what he's gonna do, the Secret Service agent, next week. And let's just wrap up with I'm sorry I'm all out of order, but let's just wrap up with Donald and Lily and Kyle. And so Lily keeps asking for information about the guy that she shot. Donald's not giving her a thing. He's like, "Let this go." And so Kyle comes into his office. Kyle have a little exchange with Lily in the hallway. Kyle comes in. He's to Donald's office. He's basically begging him to let him stay on his Secret Service detail. "I'm just trying to do my job." Donald says, "Well, do it with a member of the cabinet." And and he's begging like a lover rejected, and it hasn't been stated outright yet, but as Suzanne Sugarbaker would say, I'm pretty sure that Donald was engaged in some homosexual activity with Kyle. So I'm sorry if I missed anything. Let me check my notes real quick. I think I got the what was I think that was about it. So that was the Oval review. Tell me what you thought of it. Like and subscribe, and I will see you the next time with my review. Deuces. Oh, and I'm cooking today, so I might post the video of my recipe for mac and cheese. So be on the lookout for that. So deuces.